Okay, so good to go. Good morning, everyone. And in the last lecture, we had discussed about the data analysis life cycle. So there are phases in data analysis life cycle, and we had discussed each and every phases and what are the steps in those phases and what are the advantage and outcome of different phases of data analytics life cycle. Uh, we had also discussed about the unit 2 first topic regression model. So basically, let us brief summarize the regression. So regression is a method to formulate a relationship between the values. So as we had discussed about the disease prediction system, where various variables are available in the form of patient symptoms. So suppose a patient is suffering from fever, that is a one symptom. If a patient is suffering from cough, that is another system. If patient is having body pain, that is another system. So these are the some variables, and based on these variables, we'll try to find out that particular disease one or disease two, is affected to the patient or not. So basically, regression modeling will provide us a way to find out the relationship between these variables. So it is certain that the symptoms, variable symptoms of a patient has some relationship between the diseases to the patient. So the whole aspect of regression modeling is to find out the relationship. Then we had discussed about the uh, example where we have taken as a weight of individual, and we are trying to find out the relationship between a weight of individual to the height, diet, and workout of a individual. So here we have defined that weight is a predicted variable, and the height, diet, and workout are predicted variables. So predicted variable is somehow dependent to the predictor variable, and that is the part of regression model to find out the relationship. Here predictors are all called as also called as an independent variable. So you can find out that the variable height and the variable diet and the variable workout are independent to each other. So a person is having a height 6 feet does not represent that what is diet of that person. If a person is taking a heavy diet, it does not represent that person will have a higher height, and so on. So these variables are independent to each other, but you can find out that height is somehow related to the weight of an individual, diet is somehow related to the weight of individual, and workout is somehow related to the weight of individual. So predictor can be an independent variable, and sometimes they can be dependent to each other also. Uh, Now we're trying to find out that at what extent the predicted variable, which is our weight of individual, predicted variable is affected by the predictor. So, or the whole aspect of to study regression modeling is to find out how much extent and what extent a predicted variable means weight is affected by the predictor. That predictor is height, diet, and bulk, and what amount of variation in predictor will result in variation of the predicted value. So suppose we'll vary the height, we'll vary the diet, and we'll vary the workout of person, and then we're trying to find out what the differences we can see inside the weight of the image. So first we need to find out at what extent the predicted variable is affected by predictors. And the second one, we're trying to find out the amount of that effect. So how can you calculate the amount of that affection? you can calculate amount of affected by calculating the amount of variation. So, for example, suppose a person has a 6 feet height and he is taking a 2000 calorie per day, and he is workout. You can estimate workout is a burning calorie through the exercise. It is burning 1000 calorie per day. So you can find out that there is some weight gain by the person because whatever the diet he is taking based on his height and whatever the workout he is doing, certainly the weight is going up. Predicted variable is a mathematical represented as y. So it is a convention. If you do not want to represent predicted variable as a y, it's on your own choice. But normally, we'll always uh, pre- predicted the variable through the y symbol. Okay, so it's a convention, and a predictor variable are represented as x1, x2, and x3, and so on. So suppose we have three predictor variable: height, diet, and workout. So we are representing x1 height, x2 diet, and x3 the workout. The mathematical relations is often called the regression model. Now we're trying to find out that x1, x2, x3 is related to the y in what mathematical relations, and we call it a regression. Suppose you have a1 x1 plus b2 x2 plus c3 x is equal to y. Now we'll have to find out what is the value of a, what is the value of b, what is the value of c. Or if you can define it, it is a polynomial equation. Or if it is, are you going to define as a linear equation? That is depend on the your regression model. Next, we had discussed about that regression is a branch of statistics. So, what we are doing with probability and what we are trying to find out the relationship between the data, how can we manipulate the data to find out the specific pattern. It's all about the branch of statistics. So, if you want to excel in a machine learning, artificial intelligence, or data analysis, you have to be have some knowledge, basic knowledge about the statistic and probability. Because machine learning is basically trying to find out the relationship between the variable, trying to find out the hidden pattern inside the data set. So we must have some basic knowledge about the probability and statistics. Okay. There are many types of regression. So as we proceed further in the regression modeling, we'll find out that what are the different types of regression and what are their uses and why they are different and in which type of problem we can use the different type of regression model. Regression is commonly used for prediction and forecasting. So all of you are aware about the prediction and forecasting. Because we are certain about the past, because past is already happened, and we are already in the present, so we are aware about what is happening in the present. But everyone is very much curious what will happen in the future. So, how can you predict that certain event will proceed further in the future or not, or you can forecast the situation? So, if you can see that in a research community, if you go and read the recent article from the research article from the research community, then you will find out that a lot of research is dedicated to the finding out the peak of COVID-19 virus or coronavirus. So there are a lot of data available related to the uh, humans, related to the disease prediction rate, and so on, related to the economy, related to the manufacturing, related to the logistic. And based on that data, everyone is trying to predict and forecast what will be the peak of the COVID-19 or when it is going to be out of this situation. So you can certainly go and find out such kind of data set easily available on Kaggle or you say CI machine learning repository, and you can take the data set and you can write the Python code, or you can also use the existing Python library from TensorFlow. You can apply the machine learning approach on this data set, and you can predict and forecast the what is happening with the COVID-19 virus. Or you can predict that what will be the death rate, what will be the recovery rate in 1 month, 2 months, and so on, and when will everything back to the norm. So regression is very much regression modeling is a very much powerful tool, and you can apply on any data set, and you can predict and forecast based on that. So next, we were discussing about the process for performing regression analysis. So there are certain step-by-step process we have to follow when we performing a regression analysis. Let us go through these step by step. So first step is select a suitable predicted value. So as we have seen in earlier example, weight was our predicted value. So you can select a suitable predicted value. So in the last class, I have given one question to everyone that give me the example of predicted variable and unpredicted variable based on any problem. So we have seen multiple answers from your side, and one of them to find out the uh, house price prediction based on the house size, based on the house location, based on the floor location, and based on the facility and so on. Selecting a suitable predicted variable is very important because if we are trying to predict an house, or we are trying to predict the weight of a person, or we are trying to predict the health of the person, so what will be the suitable predicted variable? In the case of health, you can take the weight, you can take the heartbeat, you can take the blood sugar level, or you can take the predicted variable as a BP level. So sometimes it is also possible that whatever your predicted variable, that can be a predictor variable for other problem, or whatever your predictor variable, that can also be a predicted variable for any other problem. But whatever your predicted variable is selecting, suppose we have selected a house price prediction, so we are selecting a house price forecasting. So how this predicted variable must be inside the acceptable measure and quiet. So you can perform some operation on this predicted variable. So suppose we have taken a house price as a acceptable measurement quality. So you can easily measure the house price based on the price movement. You can measure the price in the dollar if you are working for an overseas market. If you are working for an Indian market, you can calculate it as in a rupees, and based on you can also calculate it in I. So based on acceptable measurement quality, you can perform that. And you have to also go through the reliability and validity. So here reliability means whatever you're predicting, that should be reliable based on your predicted value. So whatever house price we are predicting, that should be represent the reliability of the predicted value, and whatever the validity. So validity is the sense that suppose we have developed a regression model, and based on the regression model, we are trying to validate the things. So in a validation, we'll take certain new data from the real-time scenario, and based on the data, we'll try to find out that whatever the outcome of our model is near to the real-time scenario or not. If there is a minimum differences, then we can accept with some differences. Otherwise, we reject the whole hypothesis, and we'll try to find out a different predicted variable. So selecting a suitable predicted variable is very important. After finalizing the predicted variable, you have to finalize the predictor variable. So predictor variable, as you know, that it is dependent on the predicted variable. So suppose we have taken a house price prediction. So house price as a predictor variable. Now you can relate that what are the different parameters that is affecting the house price. So for selecting a predictor variable, you can do some survey. You can talk to the existing house buyers, house owners, or you can also talk to the prospective house buyers, and you can also go to the house seller because house seller has a different perspective compared to house buyer. You can take some house price indexing that will be done by some reputed organization. So from that, you can also find out some parameters. Or you can refer some research work from reputed researchers, and based on that research work, you can find out the predictor. So, if you'll go with the general statement, then you can find out that the house price is generally related to the size of the house. So, one bedroom price will be lesser compared to two bedroom price, and three bedroom price will be more compared to the two bedroom and one bedroom price. And apart from that, location is also important. If your house is within the 10-kilometer range of airport or railway station, it will have a high cost. If it is more than 10 kilometer, then it will have a lesser cost. And again, what floor you're trying to buy a house, that is also affecting the price of the house. So generally, some countries, when you are going for opting a higher floor price, higher floor, then you are paying more. And some countries, if you are opting a higher floor, you are going to pay less. So based on that, you can select the predictor. If we have only single predictor, then we are called it a bivariate analysis. If we are having a more than one predictor, we call a multivariate analysis. So, for example, of single predictor, okay. So, do one thing. Can you give example? I will give you an example. Give an example of single variate, single predictor bivariate analysis. So, give an example of single predictor and predicted variate. Give example of single predictor and predicted variate. Okay, so guys, this is a question from my side. We'll take a 2 minute time and please try to write example of where your predicted variable, your problem is dependent on a single variable. Can you think of a problem which is having a single predictor or single predicted variable? Piyush is present. Piyush, please answer this. Palak, please answer this. And Yati, please answer this. Everyone, you can use the chat box to write your answer. We'll take a 2 minute time and trying to find out that are you able to understand what is a single predictor and single predicted variable.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Aditi.
Sir, there is a student who is waiting in the waiting room, sir. Please allow her.
How I'm allowing everyone. Please ask them to rejoin the session. I will allow every person.
Sir, pardon, please.
Please ask them to rejoin the session.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I will.
So answer, student, please answer example of single predictor and whatever, what kind of problem where a single value will define the target value. Okay, guys. Any no response? Please write in the chat box. We had discussed about multivariate analysis problem where we have to find a problem of a predicted variable which is depend on multiple predictor variables. And I'm asking you that can you give me an example of single predictor and predicted variable where a problem is dependent on a single variable? Okay, I will give you example. Uh, all of you are getting the pocket money. सभी लोग अपने पॉकेट मनी पाते हैं. Everyone getting the pocket money. ऐसा तो कोई नहीं है who is not getting pocket money. So your expenses is directly related to your pocket money. ठीक है, आप जितना पैसा पाएंगे उतना ही खर्चा करेंगे, उससे ज्यादा आप खर्चा कर नहीं सकते हैं, उससे कम आप खर्चा करना नहीं चाहते हैं, करना तो बहुत कुछ चाहते हैं लेकिन आप कर नहीं सकते क्योंकि यू आर डायरेक्टली रिलेटेड टू द your expenses. So suppose you are developing a model predict your expenses, their expenses predicted. So it is directly related to your pocket money. And it can also depend on other variables, but mainly it is depend on the pocket money. If you are getting 1,000 rupees per month, so you are not going to spend it. But if you are getting 10,000 rupees per month, definitely you are going to buy a new mobile, new clothes, and so. Please give me one or more example, and then we'll proceed further. So, So I have written a problem, personal expenses prediction, and it is depend on the pocket money. But it is only for a student because if you are talking about personal expense prediction for a house, now it will depend on the various factor. Okay, so do one more problem. What are the predictors variable for personal expenses prediction? Suppose you are developing a personal expenses predictor for your own house. So what are the parameters or variable will affected your house expenses? First, incoming source of money, income money. Another, you can unmute yourself if you want to speak, or you can use the chat box. Okay, I will ask the name because you guys are not responsive. Amina, am I audible? Amina. You can also use the chat box, Amina. Amina not audible. Abhishek, Abhishek, am I audible? Okay. Aditya Jain, Aditya Jain, not audible. Akshay, Mr. Akshay. Yes, yes, Akshay. So give me that example how a personal expenses prediction for an house depend on which variable or what factor will affect the personal expenses. Write down in the chat box. Anupriya, Anupriya, am I audible? Okay, Anushka, maintenance factor. Yati, maintenance factor, what will be the measurement of maintenance factor? How can you measure a maintenance factor? Because we want a numerical value. Okay, Harsh Yadav, Hrithik, Palak Jaswal, uh, Hrithik Roshan, Hrithik Roshan, Sakshi, Sandeepan. Please write in the chat box. Okay, Bill. Sandeepan, income. Okay, that is one factor. Another, at least guys, give me 10 to 15 factor. There are, you are in your house and you can see that how your house expenses is affecting our various parameters. One is a virus. Is a virus condition affecting the house expenses? Can we take as a parameter? Mm, Mr. Khan, how expenditure saving income will affect house expense, personal expense? Expenditure saving incomes, how it will affect? I'm waiting for two more response and then we'll proceed with the lecture. I'm waiting for two more response, then we'll proceed with the lecture. Guys, you can think of it because you are definitely you are all of affected by this virus, and you are seeing that what are the how the badly expenses of family is affected by this condition. Every family has a hampered on their income, and so at least a two more response. It's not a satisfactory response from your side. You can use the chat box. At least two more response, then we'll proceed further with our lecture. Okay, so I'm expecting you are not going to give a response, so we'll proceed further. So we had discussed about the single predictor bivariate analysis. So suppose we have taken the personal expenses prediction and it will depend on the pocket. Okay, Sandeep, very good. Number of members in the family, very good. More number of members, more expensive. And again, number of income generating members, working members. Okay, anything more than one single predictor will call the multivariate analysis. So bivariate analysis, sorry, bivariate analysis and multivariate analysis I will discuss in detail in upcoming session. And next we have to collect sufficient number of data points. So suppose we are providing a expenses prediction for a house. So we have to collect the sufficient number of data points. So suppose we have collected personal expenses of a house for last 5 years, last 10 years, and we have defined the predictor variable for that. So last 10 years or last 5 years, what were the predictor variables? What were their value and how they had affected the personal expenses? So you have seen that whatever the expenses of an house, expenses of a house, it is all never in a linear fashion. It will be in a zigzag fashion, where sometimes it is up, sometimes it is down, sometimes it is in a sideways, sometimes it is an upward momentum, sometimes it is in a downward momentum. So depend on the various points, you have to collect these data points. You have to make a you can make an Excel sheet of this data point, and you can directly uh, kind of capture the data, that data in a CSV. And next, we have to use a suitable estimation technique to arrive. So now we have, suppose we have a personal expenses prediction data. So we have a predictor variables, we have a predicted variable, and we have a last 5 year data about that. Now we have to find out a suitable estimation technique. So you can perform the regression analysis on that and use the least square method and other techniques and find out that what is suitable for your own data set and how they are affecting the prediction. Okay, so basically we are trying to find out mathematical predictions of the so you have to take a account. So whatever the model you are applying on your house protection data set, maybe that is not going to give a perfect result. So you have to somehow maybe it is going to differ from your expectation or expected result, and based on that you can calculate the error and you can take some error margin here. Assess the model stability by applying it to different sample of same population. So suppose you have developed a house expenses prediction for your own house, and after developing your model, you are very sure that your model has a validity. Your model is reliable. It is giving a accurate prediction somehow more than 80%. Now you can take data set from your other colleagues, or you can take the data set from your friend house, and based on that data set, you can check your model that your model is giving the same stable accuracy or not. If it is different, it means your model is not good, and you have to select another model. When predictive variables are given for a new data point, estimate the predicted variable. Now you have compiled your model, you have validated your model from various house data. So we want to check that model for a new data point. So suppose you have taken a house expenses parameter from a new house, and you want to estimate the predicted variable. So based on that, you can expense the predict house expenses. You can predict the expenses of a house for 1 month, 2 month, or annual basis. And based on that, every house can manage their income, can manage their savings, can manage their expenses, and so on. So it is quite useful tool if you want to develop the personal expenses prediction project. If stable, the model accuracy should not increase. So in a near time, with a lot of training and testing, your model accuracy should not decrease. It doesn't mean that it will not decrease with the training data, but it should not decrease on a significant level. So it can move in a up and move. It can give a volatile result, but it should not be decreased in a significant level. So the process called model cross validation. So we'll discuss about what is model cross validation and so on. I will leave this model cross validation for the upcoming sessions. But if you want to check that your model is providing a good accuracy or not, you can perform the model cross validation. Now we'll discuss about the least square. So I have taken this image from this website. Least square regression line is a line that makes the sum of the square of the vertical distances of the data point from this line as small as possible. So suppose this is a line which is predicting your house price expenses. So suppose this line is in a form of suppose you have taken x-axis your various prediction variable, and on a y-axis you have taken your house price. So your house price is somehow you take a x-axis a number of members in a family. So as a number of members of family is increasing, your house price is getting increased, and so on. So you can find out that you are getting this linear regression line. So based on this line, you can predict that on if the number of members are at this x-axis will directly related to the house price, house expenses and the expenses. What is a D1, D2, D3? Suppose these are some house price prediction based on the number. So you can find out that what is the distance of this, and you can take a sum of the square of this vertical distances from the data point. So what we are trying to do with our model, that this is our model, and we are trying to minimize this error as much as possible. So How can we minimize the error? We are taking the least square method. So in a least square method, what we are trying to do, we are trying to minimize the error between this uh, actual data point to our predicted data. No. So least square is a term that signifies that the square of error at a minimum. So when you are having any type of error, you will take the square of error and trying to minimize that error to as extent as possible. So that is a concept of least square. The error is defined as a difference between the observed value and the predicted value. So whatever the your observed value, but suppose you have observed value is not getting from the your model. It is a value which you are getting in a real environment. Suppose you have collected the data from various houses, and you find out that if there are one member, then house price house expenses is this one. When the members are increasing to five, your house price expenses are getting decreased. When the member is again increasing, your house price is getting in house expenses is getting increased. Okay, so these are your actual data point, and this is your predicted data. So a difference between difference between the observed value and the predicted variable value is error is defined as a difference between the observed value and the predicted. The objective of the regression estimation is to produce least square error as a result. When error approaches to zero, we term it as overfitting. So suppose your D1, D2, D3 and all this D1 square plus D2 square plus D3 square is equal to zero. Suppose you have developed a model, you have developed some time a mathematical equation which is satisfying this condition where d1 square plus d2 square plus d3 square is 0, then you call that your model is perfect and it is overfitting model. So in a real time, your model cannot be an overfitting model because it is infeasible to find out the model that is satisfying the all real time value in service time. So we'll try to find out a model which having a minimum possible value of the least square. So least square method provide linear equation with unknown that can be solved for any given data. So you are trying to find out linear equation with the unknown variable. Suppose you have taken a variable here. Suppose you are uh, ex- predicting the personal expenses based on the some factor, number of members, income, and so on. So you are not aware that how they are going to affect the your this square. So you can take unknown numbers and you can solve by for a given data. These unknowns are called the regression parameters, and the linear equation are called as a normal equation. The normal equation is like using calculus to minimize the square. Okay. So these are the introduction about the least square method, and we'll also discuss with example in the upcoming session what is the least square method. Other algorithm which is effective apart from the regression modeling in this problems are artificial neural networks. We are all aware about the ANN, and we'll also discuss about the ANN in upcoming session, K nearest neighbor, and what these algorithms is trying to do, attempt to minimize the square error unless the objective state error. So our whole target is to minimize the D1 square, the D2 square, the D3 square. Okay, we'll end this session till the regression analysis. Multivariate analysis we'll discuss in the next session. Okay, so guys, uh, the let us do an exercise today and trying to find out regression model. Okay, one. Okay, trying to find out some problem related to the regression modeling and trying to give the parameter that is affecting that problem. So give. I'm writing the question. Give problem for different modeling with parameters. This is a question for. Okay. Any question or any doubt? You can use the chat box. We have 5 minutes of session left. I will mark the attendance using the Moodle, and if you have access this Google Meet using the Moodle, I will mark your attendance. And if you are having any technical issues or not able to get the session, I will upload the lecture on Moodle, and you can also access your uh, video from there, and I will mark your attendance based on that. So basically, attendance will be marked based on the logs in the Moodle. Okay, guys. So this is a question. You have 4 minutes of session left. You can ask any question if you have any. I'm ending the recording session. Thank you.